Hi, my name is Nevena. I'm a member of the International Association for College Admissions Counseling, the National Association for College Admissions Counseling, and the Higher Education Consultants Association. Today, I want to talk to you about picking a university. One of the first things that I advise that my students do is pick a location. Because once they know where they want to study, it's much easier to advise how to pick a program, how to apply for a program, and to help a student select the best program. Many students don't know that there are options to study all over the world and that there are many well-known universities in virtually every country in the world. So once you've picked a location, then you should reach out to an expert to have them help you figure out how to apply and to figure out which programs are best for you. Now, there are some general questions that students love to ask, and one of these general questions that students love to ask is, what do colleges consider in the admissions process? Another is, what's a personal statement, motivation letter, or college essay, and how are they different? Another question that comes up very frequently is, what should I be doing now? Today, we're going to answer those questions. So the first question, what do colleges consider? This is something that's really important because if you're applying to college, you want to make sure that you have everything ready to put your best foot forward in your application process. So one of the things that colleges consider would be your grades, your GPA, or your class rank. The next thing would be your course difficulty. How difficult is the curriculum? How difficult is the high school system that you're coming from to better gauge how to evaluate your grades compared to students coming from other schools? The next thing that they'll look at is your test scores. And then they'll look at the recommendations from your teachers. Now, keep in mind that not all universities require all of these components. Some universities might only look at some of these components, but we'll talk about that in a second. Next is colleges will look at your essays. So that's that personal statement, motivational letter, and college essay that I mentioned a few seconds ago. Next, they'll look at your extracurricular activities. And finally, they'll look at institution-specific priorities, which could range from interviews to additional testing to alumni is in your area that have talked to you that also provide feedback. So when we talk about grades, it's really important to score as well as you can in your school system because it's expected that you're able to do well and that you know how to study when you go to university. So work on keeping your grades up. A lot of schools that use a quantitative system will evaluate that you have to have a certain grade or a set of marks before they'll look at your applications. Whereas other schools will have a more holistic approach and your grade won't be the most important thing, but instead what they'll do is they'll look at your grades and they'll look at the course difficulty. If they see that you're enrolled in a very difficult course, then they will say, okay, well, this is a good grade, so we can accept this. Now, if they see that your course is not very difficult and that you're struggling with your grades, then your grades could harm you. So study and get good grades and take a curriculum that fits your needs and desires as to what you want to study. Next, what they'll look at is your test scores. So this could be any standardized test like the SAT, the TOEFL, the ACT, the IELTS. Now, for international students whose native language is not English, they are required to submit an English language test. And so these test scores can be very important because they could be a benchmark which can assess whether or not the student will be admitted to a university. Whereas other schools might have their own tests that they've created, which are university specific. So talk to your college counselor to figure out what test is required of you and how to best prepare for this test. Next thing that universities will look at is recommendations. They might ask for a recommendation from a school counselor or from a teacher or even from a personal employer. There are even some universities that ask for peer recommendations where you'll ask one of your classmates to write a recommendation about what you want to study and who you are. There are even some schools that will ask for parent recommendations. Next thing that schools will look at is your essay. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes when we talk about the difference between a motivational letter, a personal statement, and a college essay. But be sure to write about yourself and be very authentic in your essay so that your application will stand out. Next, universities like to look at your extracurricular activities. They want to see that you were engaged in high school, to see that you explored your interests and that you were very focused on what you wanted to do. So for instance, schools like to see that you have extracurricular activities that guide you towards your major of choice. So for instance, a student that wants to study biology would do well to be in a biology club or to participate in, for instance, a biology competition if it's available to them. Now, don't worry if you hear about activities that exist in other countries and other schools that don't exist in your school, but try to find as many activities that you can participate in that will help you accomplish what you want to and that will help you explore the major that you're interested in. The next thing that universities look at in your application would be institution-specific priorities. So, for instance, a school that requires interviews will use the interview as a way to assess whether or not you're interested in their program. Another institution-specific priority that I've seen is a university will look at how engaged you are and how interested you are in their university, be it whether or not you have communicated with a professor or someone within a department that you're really interested in. Make sure that you check what the schools that you're applying to look at before you submit your application to make sure that you fulfilled all of the requirements. Next thing that students ask me is, what is a personal statement? What is a motivational letter? And what's a college essay? And are they the same or are they different? Well, put it simply, the goal is the same, but there are different approaches. The number one most important thing to take into account is that these are about you. This is the way that the college or university gets to know you and gets to see whether you're interested in their program, whether you're a good fit, and to help assess how you would do at their university. So let's talk about the personal statement. The personal statement is about promoting yourself. So why you would do well there, what you want to gain from it, and it's all about talking about you from the lens of promoting yourself. Whereas a motivational letter might be a little bit more focused on your future goals. So what you want to do with the information that you'll learn at that college or university or in that course or program and what you think you can bring to it. So yet again, the focus is about you, but it's in a little bit of a different vein. And finally, college essays are also specifically about you, but they might ask specific questions about the university or might find an alternative way to get that same information. So for instance, they might ask you to write something like a letter to your college roommate. And this is your opportunity to express who you are, what you want to study, why you want to study it, but at the same time show that you would be a good fit for that community and to show the university that you really do see yourself studying at that university. The next thing that students are always asking is, what should I be doing now? Well, right now, don't stress. The college application process might seem stressful, but it's not. What you need to do is focus on your schoolwork. So the number one thing you need to do is you need to get good grades. You need to work on studying and doing well in your education system. The next thing is that you want to take advantage of extracurricular activities that will help you develop interests and explore interests and discover which interests fit your future goals the best. Also, you want to get to know your teachers because you're going to be asking them to write you letters of recommendation. And to reiterate the same thing, you want to get good grades. It's very important that you get good grades so that a college can see that you're interested and you're ready to study at the collegiate level. So thank you for watching. And as always, please subscribe to get more videos on college tips. And if you have any questions that you would like to be addressed in a future video, please comment below. Hope to see you soon. Bye!